Welcome, welcome, welcome to your evening, afternoon, could be even morning, depending on where you are. With Big Steps with Animist Thing. And today, do I have a different session for you today? Yes, I do. And because it's the beginning of the new year, I can still wish you and welcome you a happy new year. Yeah, I know. I know. We don't all want to like sing and dance about it, but it is what it is. Today, I'm coming to you with a difference. Over the past few days, especially the last week of the year, having my cousin murdered and then family members become unwell and, just really worrying and going in prayer for them. It was like, how are you here? Why are you here? And how are you, or what is your purpose? Are you walking in your anointing? And in so doing, how are you empowering and encouraging others? And I struggled with this because I'm. Some of you may know I am writing a book, and I am going to put and bear all in the book. But for me to actually tell it to you so you can see me, I'm going to be real with you. I've even actually got some tissue because I can't say I'm going to stay composed. Hello, beautiful. In the sun. Yes, I see you. So let me just, let you see my infomercial and then we're going to just get right on in it. So let's do this. I just want to share with you who I am. So, who am I? That's a little infomercial of who I am. And let's just do a little recap of last year. I mean, so much things happened last year. I mean, at the beginning of 2020, I don't think anyone in their right mind was like, yeah, we're going to be having Rona and we're not going to be able to go out of our house. We're going to be locked down, practically martial law. No, I don't think anyone thought that. No one thought that they would have lost their loved ones to a virus. Nobody thought that they would lose, sadly, jobs and businesses. And, last year really was a trying time for many around the world. I mean, it wasn't just in one country or, one continent. It's global. This is a global pandemic that we are living in. And it means that times and things have to change. And it was through this era, within this, that I really, truly found me. I mean, I thought I'd found myself years ago, and I loved me and I was happy and I was bubbly. But in the contemplative times of just being silent, being in the home alone, just thinking about life, where I want to go, at first you're kind of fearful because you're like, oh my gosh, what if I get COVID? Am I going to die? And, I'm a vulnerable person. So, of course, that's a worrying thing to me. But I thought I need to share my journey. I need to let you know why I'm here, right now. And I'm walking in my season, in my purpose, so that I can share with you and encourage you to speak your truth to empowerment. So today is not going to be all about business, because I love business and growth and development, because I am the growth coach. I'm Animist Thing, and of course I blossom. But you need to know, I feel, where this is coming from, where I'm coming from, the journey I've traveled to get to here today. And so we're going to just have a little heart to heart session. That's what I think I'll call it. So everyone has a story. What's your story? How is life treating you right here, right now? And where do you see you in 3 years' time? Let's get there together, because there is no way we're going to overcome what we are going through if we don't do this together. So I'm going to just get right in. No more waffling. Even though I'm going to be real, I'm really nervous, and I'm not usually nervous. But where I'm going with this, yeah, it's deep. So I thought I would share with you some of me and my journey, why I'm flawsome, and how now I'm on a journey to encourage, support healing, and guide you into your truth to empowerment. And I think if I didn't just, share me with you, it wouldn't be real. And I don't want that, I like for us to just be genuine and authentic. Okay. So going to take some of this stuff that's going down. So if you want to ask me questions as well as I go through, that's fine. Make sure they're sensible and they're not inappropriate, because I won't be answering those. And also, I want to make a disclaimer. What I'm going to be sharing with you today is going to be a trigger for some of you, because I'm going to broach and share openly my experiences and life's journey of child sexual abuse and domestic violence, and just struggling, and the teen mom saga and being bullied. So I'm going to be so raw and open with you, so that then it allows you to see where I'm coming from and how far I've come, as well as, by God's grace, where I'm going to. And when you see me and you hear me jumping and jubbly and laughing and silly and it's because I'm so joyful from what I've experienced and where I've come to where I am now. So my story is, to my mom, I was born an only child. And my mom, in the job role that she's in, it seems that she had to travel or go all over the place. Who knows? But I was left with my aunt. God rest her soul. Love her dearly. She was my world. And, my aunt taught me how to cook. She taught me about relationships. She was really a good support and guidance. But sadly, even though in the love I experienced with my aunt, I still encountered negativity. Okay. I'm going to say it in my training, negativity. And so before I got to Flawsome, I had to encounter other things. So my first encounter with, I would say, harm was child abuse. So I remember my first recollection of it is it was one stormy night. It was really wintry. The wind was blowing, howling. There were dogs. Oh, it was horrible. And I'm a five-year-old child, I'd say about 5, and I was petrified. My aunt used to work nights as a nurse, so I had to stay at home with my uncle. And in staying at home with my uncle, I mean, I'm sure it was something that happened all the time. I don't think I would have thought anything of it. But until this night, that's when now I think things changed. And now I know, of course, I don't know if other things happened before, but this I can recall. And so I was very scared. My aunt always tucks me into bed, praises me, and usually I go to sleep. But with this storm, I could not sleep. It was horrible. I was so scared. So what I did is I then went to my uncle and I said, Uncle, he said, "You're frightened?" And I said, "Yes." He says, "Come, it's all right. Don't worry about it. You can come and sleep with me." And of course, you're a child. You think nothing of it. And, I went in the bed with him. And then afterwards, he said, and now when I think about it, it's hilarious, but it's not hilarious. He said, "If you're feeling scared and you want to feel safe, hold on to this." And I, as a 5-year-old child, I don't know what am I holding on to, but I held on to something. And then when I held on to it, after a while, I then felt like water. And I was scared. I said, "Oh, uncle, you pee-peed yourself." And he said, "No, no, 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 no. It's okay. Shh, don't say anything. It's quiet. Don't worry, don't worry." But I was like, "No, no, no, no." And I was scared, and I ran and I went into the bathroom and I locked the door. And when I locked the door, I actually fell asleep in the bath. So when my aunt came home in the morning, she was looking for me and she was like, "Where's my baby girl?" They called me baby. "Where's my baby?" And nothing. And then she came to the bathroom and she said, "Baby girl, you in the bathroom?" And then I said, "Yes." And she got, "Open the door." Because normally I wouldn't lock the door either. But then I opened the door and she said, "What's the matter?" And then I said, I said, "I was scared." She goes, "That storm frightened you?" I said, "Yes, And she said, "I know, baby, it was a bad storm, blah, blah, blah." And she hugged me and she said, "It's all right. Auntie's here now." And then afterwards, she said, What happened?" Because now I'm like still clinging. And she goes, "The storm was that bad. You never go to uncle." And then I said, "Uncle weed himself." You think about it, you're a little child, you read it, I'm saying, like, he weed himself. She goes, "What do you mean he weed himself?" So I must have then described what happened. Well, all I can say to you is now I think about it. What happened was I just heard my aunt go downstairs. I heard a lot of boof, boof, bang, bang, cussing and carrying on. And then from that, I remember I never stayed when Auntie went to work at home with Uncle. I don't know what truly happened. I know now she must have bust his head, which it should have happened. But that was one of my first encounters. But one of the things that I realized afterwards, it was like, I now recollect when he used to say, "Give him a kiss." It was never like a kiss on the cheek or whatever. He would want me to put my mouth to his, and he would put his tongue in my mouth. And that I always thought was horrible and disgusting. But you don't know any better. And then one day he said to me, "Oh, you know what? You're now you're getting bigger. You're getting cheeky. You're too rank. Remember I used to change your diapers and da, da, da." And then because I knew what he done, I was like, "Oh my gosh, did you trouble me in my diaper? That is disgusting." So it really made me sort of like be repelled to him. But then after that, sadly, I went to another family member's house, and sadly, I don't know, maybe I had child abuse written on my forehead. I experienced the same encounter again. That unfortunately carried on for much longer until I was 14. And then after that, it stopped because I now was older and I was, well, the situation was actually taken out of my hands in sort of like the way how it stopped. It happened due to an accident, and then it gave me some power. And so then from there, I also encountered abandonment issues, because when I was going through all of that, I wanted to know, why did my mum leave me? Why was she never able to keep me? And she was always sending me from her, going to my aunt's and bringing me back, sending me. And it was a yo-yo sometimes. And I'm not going to pretend I love my mum dearly now, but I have to say, from those early years, I really did not like her. I really just wanted to be with my aunt all the time and just go with the person that truly loved me as I saw love. And, as I was going through these turmoils as a child and the abuse, and then I'm having to go to different schools, and I'm going to this school and then coming back and going to another school. It was a nightmare. And so I got bullied as well, and I was unhappy. And then, I got teased a lot. And growing up, I went to a school as well where I was the only Black child in my class. And the racism that I experienced was horrific. I would come to school in the morning, and on my desk, there would be a banana. I would be called Jungle Bunny, Monkey, get back in your tree, all kinds of derogatory, ridiculous things. So school was not the best place for me. And one of the things, though, that I used to make my mark, though, was I made sure that I used my brain. And so I was like, I would always get A's. I was a straight A student, things like this. And then what would happen is that I would say to them, "Yeah, but this monkey's got a brain. What was your grade?" Now, I shouldn't have to do that, but unfortunately, that was what I grew in. So I continued from there. Then I went on to high school. Again, high school wasn't always great. I mean, many people who've been to high school, that's where I first experienced smoking. I don't know why people smoke. This is just my opinion. I think it's disgusting. Um, got bullied. Was told that, you know, I wasn't that beautiful. You know, why was I like that? I was very reclusive, but I was also very fearful. I was very fearful of boys. I didn't want anyone to come too close to me because of the experiences I was having. So I was very aggressive. I was very angry. I was very troubled emotionally about relationships and how people encounter you, because the relationships I was having, whether it was being an abandonment from how I felt with my mom, you know, being sexually abused as I was going through you know, it brings different forms of emotions and challenges to you. So for you to still be a normal child, that's difficult. And so once I, you know, got into secondary school, I was fighting. So now I'm no longer just, I'm fighting. I'm going to fight you. I'm going to argue, you know, don't come near me, don't do whatever. And so I had to go through those experiences. And then afterwards, I went to, you know, got through school, and I met my daughter's dad in high school. And he was one of the people that actually tried to help me and show me that you don't have to be so aggressive and horrible and mean and fight with people all the time. You can actually talk to people or have a boy talk to you, and it doesn't mean they're going to harm you. So in one instance, he did help. Thank you. But then later on, because of that trust that I had gained with him, you know, I ended up being a teenage mom. And so here was the beginning of another struggle. And, you know, unfortunately, as well as becoming a teenage mom, I also was experiencing domestic violence. And this is another reason why I'm such an advocate for domestic violence and against alcoholism and drugs, because alcohol and drugs together is a no-no, That is a cocktail for disaster. And you know, I have firsthand experience on what it's like to know when someone's on a downer and the alcohol and the cocaine is coming out of their system. I can tell you, I have experienced it firsthand with the fists in my face, you know, on my body. I ended up in hospital one time for a week. My fractured skull, you know, all kinds of stuff. And by the time my daughter became free, I was like, I can't live like this. I cannot encounter my life and have my child live like this. There's no way I want my daughter to see and witness me being battered, bruised, and just treated poorly. And then when you get to that scenario of life, what then happens is that you start to think you have no value. So why am I being beaten? Is it my fault? Did I create this? You know, and what did I do wrong? And why is it that, you know, he's against me? And you just start to doubt who you are. So then I went through bouts of like sadness and depression, and that I wasn't worthy and I wasn't good enough. And then I remember one day, you know, at the time when I got pregnant with my daughter, you know, my mum's a very staunch Christian woman, goes to church. And what happened was I went to her church, I was pregnant, and I was treated so badly that I said I would never have anything to do with God. I mean, I couldn't believe it, how people could treat you. So I was told I was a Jezebel. I was a wicked girl. I was flaunting my sins in the church and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, but I don't even go to your church. I'm not saved. I'm not even baptized. What's your problem? But I was put down so badly. I was a harlot. Oh, my Lord. I mean, the amount of things that they called me because I was pregnant. Really? Get over yourselves. If we knew your story, it would be so different. But at the time, what I was going through was just hurt. Again, anger, rejection, being made to feel devalued. And so I then, you know, had my daughter going through what I'm going through. And then I remember the last fight we had, my daughter was about 3, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. This is not my life. I can't. So, I got the knife. I was like, I'm going to kill him. Either I'm going to kill him or he's going to kill me, but one of us is going to die. And my daughter's going to be an orphan because I'm not living this life anymore. And, the fear that rises in you. I mean, my cousin can be a witness. She can tell you, you would come to my house and I'd have like 10 locks on the door. They never used to call it stalking then, but it's now recognized as stalking. 10 locks on the door, trying to lock the windows, trying to look because I'm scared that he's going to come in on me. I would wake up some nights and he's standing over me. Trust me, that freaks you out. And, after that encounter, he was like, oh, you're crazy. You've lost your mind. I said, yeah, I have, but you get out. And so I got him out. And that was the beginning of where I started now a journey to find me. And that didn't take easy. That didn't come quick. It took a while. I had to go through stuff. I'll never forget one night, I had no money and we didn't have any electricity. And I was there in the dark and I was crying and crying my eyes out and praying that, to whatever God there is, if there is a God, you've got to help me. And my baby was so beautiful. My daughter, why I love her so much. And even though she can drive me crazy, I will sacrifice this because the journey that she's traveled with me is hard to understand. And that night she just kept kissing me and hugging me and loving on me. And even if she was a baby that was crying or whatever, she was such an amazing child. She was so happy. She was so lively. And so that helped me through the journey. And I vowed that night that I'm going to fight the fight of my life to save her from nothing that I've been through, as well as just making sure that she's got what she needs. And so that's what I did. I fought hard. And from there, I was like, I'm going to go back to school. So I went to a mother and babies course that helped me to get my business administration. And then I went from there and I went, could you imagine you're 21 and now you're too old to go and do your college degree? So I had to go and do an adult foundation course into university. And then I did that. And then I went and then I managed to get into, and I'm still struggling. I'm still going through domestic violence. I'm still, the trying to not come into my house, hiding, all kinds of stuff. But then I said, okay, I'm going to go and still try and go to school. So I went and I decided to study law. I wanted to help people. One, I wanted to make my dad happy and proud because that's what he'd always wanted me to do. But then I also wanted to help people in the same situation as me. I wanted to see if I could listen from the beating, from the pain of being devalued and hurting, and that's what I wanted to do. And so that's what I did. I went into study law. I went into study a degree which was called community law with community law minor. Why? Because it focused on the community, housing, welfare, immigration, violence, and things like this. So that was more up my street. Even that was a struggle. Had to hide a few times, run away. I'm telling you, people, when you're going through domestic violence and nobody knows as well, because you're embarrassed, you're scared, you're frightened. You don't want people to know that you're going through these challenges. You try and show a good face, but really you're like, I'm crying inside. I'm hurting. I'm scared all the time. Am I going to meet up with the person on the street? You live through a life of terror and you never really sleep right. That's another thing. You never really sleep right. It got to a stage where I started to get such bad migraines, I would just black out. And I ended up having to start taking injections just to stop them because as well, it was a danger to my daughter. If her mum blacked out, anything could happen. So, and that's through the trauma and the experience of the violence and the fear. And so more so the fear of if it could happen again, or will this be your last time, or, how am I going to get away? And now how am I going to save my daughter? So it's fear. You're just living in fear. You're constantly in adrenaline. You're constantly, cortisol levels are just high. And so once I then moved, because I had to move and I need to make sure that I don't, the first move, didn't want to give the address, but anyway, found me. So that was another fiasco. But God was so good. I started to be stronger. And then in so doing, one day after going through so much so far, I remember just hating me, hating my life, hating living, and just wanting to die. And this is where I also talk and speak to people about depression. I didn't know I was depressed at the time. I just thought I'd had enough. I thought my daughter would be better without me. And I didn't want to go through life like this anymore. I was tired. And I remember crying and crying and crying one night when she went to sleep. And I would often cry and beg the God in heaven, whoever he was, to take me. And I wake up the next morning and I'll be like, I'm still here. What are you doing? And then I would start the day again and people would say, hi, yeah, I'm fine, I'm fine. I'm working, I'm doing this. My daughter's good. She looks good. I look good. I'm making money. Yay. But I'm dying inside. And so eventually one night after I put her to bed again and I just was hurting and I was crying and I was like, I just don't want to be here. Please take my life. And that night, I know I heard that small, still voice say, come to me. And I was like, what? And then I was like, there's something in my house. I actually went searching for the voice because I was like, there's no way. And, when I heard the voice again, and I was like, what? And I remember crying and crying, hearing the voice come to me. And I just cried out. And then I remember waking up like about 2 o'clock in the morning on the floor. And then once I'd woken up on the floor, I found a Bible. My aunt had always taught me to keep a Bible. So I had a Bible, but I can tell you that thing was dusty at the side of the bed because I wasn't interested in no Jesus. Don't tell me rubbish. Jesus, these church folks are wicked. They're evil. They were horrible. So who wanted to do Jesus? Not me with you. But at the end of the day, I went to the word and I started reading and I started to thirst for more. And in so starting to read, start to build a relationship. And I don't know what happened, but I just started to want to know more and find out about Jesus. And, that was the beginning of the dawn of a change, but then on top of it, I still had to deal with some of his madness. And then I tell you, when I was truly got time to breathe and become free, sadly, he became incarcerated. So he went to jail. But in that process of him going to jail, it gave me space. It gave me the space I needed to grow. And it gave me the space I needed to be able to take the next step, the next stage of the journey. And so that's where I started to not just build on my career. I'm, in the legal field, but I'm now looking to expand on that. And I worked in a firm where we dealt with domestic violence and women who'd gone through trauma and harm. And some of the cases I encountered, I was like, Lord have mercy. I experienced nothing compared to what some of these women experience. From being burnt, from having bones broken, from being locked in houses. I mean, it was horrendous. And what we face, women, sometimes on a daily basis. And this is why I'm an advocate for this. Not only having experienced it, but witnessed it in some of our cases. And so, I decided I wanted to be saved. So I did get baptized, joined the church. And it's from there my spiritual journey began. And then from there, I've also been in child services. So I went to social, became a family support worker and working with families and building family units and working with young moms and whatever, because I was a young mom. I was a teen mom. I had social services because I was a teen mom. They thought I was at risk. Shari was at risk, And so it was just like, it was for me to give back. I was giving back. I was doing what, me working and supporting others was actually healing me as well. I don't know if I can, how to explain that to you, but it really was. It was allowing me to see that together we can do this. And so I looked at how I can expand on this. And then I thought, with everything that was going on with my journey in life, I determined, remember, my vision is to make sure my daughter never experienced what I experienced. And so I wanted to push her higher. I wanted to propel her higher. So I even changed countries, moved totally out of the UK and went to the US and, went there and started fresh and started a new life. And I'm not going to lie, sometimes it was hard, but many times I was truly blessed, and it's really helped me to get to where I am today. So I just wanted to share that with you. I know some of the things that I've said may have been like, oh my, to some people, because you wouldn't have known that. And it isn't something, you don't just have a topic of conversation. Oh, did you know that I was sexually abused when I was a child and I've been beaten up quite a few times? No, it's not the topic of conversation that you have. But I felt impressed by the Holy Spirit to share with you my story, how I got to where I am today, and why I'm so passionate and zealous on supporting you and encouraging you into your purpose. Because when you're free, oh my gosh, you see the fact that I can just share that with you? I can share with you in true depth when we speak one-to-one and in small group sessions, because that's what I do. But the fact that I am now free, I am now blossom, I'm now like, woo! I love me, I love life. Challenging with weight gain because of emotional eating, and then becoming unwell and being diagnosed with lupus and having clots and lung collapse and all kind of madness, till I was able to be free and love my body, look in the mirror at any kind of curves or whatever and still love me. Do you know the power in that? It's freeing. And that's what I want. It's about speaking your truth to empowerment so that you're free. When you're free, you can be your true, authentic self. I remember I shared with somebody 2019 now, gosh, we're in 21, that I was depressed and I was feeling down. And because I'm now aware of it and the training that I've had, I know very full well when I'm depressed and whatever. So I can just get out of it. But I shared it with somebody, and someone who I thought was a friend, and sadly, they actually used that against me. And I was like, wow. They asked me, who are you? Now you're telling me you were depressed last year. So what you did last year and how you acted, was that really you? Or are you really you now? And I was like, well, that's deep. I said, but you know what? Again, being free in who I am allows me not to be fearful, to be vulnerable. Allows me not to feel ashamed of my past, and allows me to be able to hold my head up and say, this is me with all my flaws, but I'm still awesome. And that's what I want you to gain from all of this. I want you to understand that no matter what, you are here for a purpose. You are here, right now, because your creator has ordained that so. And you've got to walk into your season. You've got to take the time out to find you, your true, authentic you, so you can be the happy bunny that you are. And like someone told me last week, oh, you're kind of bubbly. You're too bubbly. I said, what? You can be too bubbly? Me? Well, hey, whatever. You don't know my story. That's the reason you don't know why I'm so happy. But guess what? I am so joyful in the Lord. I've got to smile. I've got to laugh. If you don't laugh, you'll cry. And I'm not doing that. So there's a bit about me. I thought I would share with you my story. I'm writing, I've started the book on my journey through depression, which is Out of the Darkness, my SOS. So that one is there for you, that I will be putting out soon. And then I'm also writing another book, actually, but I'm going to tell you that in a minute. What's your story? Everybody has a story. It doesn't matter who you are, but we all have one. And some of our stories are just happy and dandy. Yay! That's great. And some of us, I'm going to keep it real. Some stuff has happened. We've been through some things. We've experienced some mess. But guess what? It doesn't make us any less. It actually gives us more. It actually puts in you more, the strength, the tenacity, the fight, the everything that gives you the essence of you. That's who you are. And so we've all got a story, and I would love to hear from you. What's your story? And I would also want to encourage you to, if you just want to just share and you just want to let it out so you can be free. So you'd be surprised. Sometimes just the first time you let it out, it releases you. Then definitely come and touch base with me. I have told you last year we're starting a safe space lounge. It's going to be every Thursday. I'm actually going to have it open now from this, after I talk with you, from 9 p.m., which is 4 p.m. Eastern time. If you want to come and just have a chat with me in a safe space, please feel free. I'll give you that in a moment. So do touch base with me and let me know your story. Now, why am I as happy as I am? And now I am in my season, right? And I want you to be there too. And so, of course, as you know, moi is the growth coach. And I am about growth and developing and, you know, getting from here to there. And how are we going to do that? And that's what this is about. So there's my two of my main programs that I do that I want to share with you. You know, I think you'll love them. They'll be really a blessing to you. Is one, it's the Fabulous and Thriving, which is, as you know, I like to say I'm fat. Yes, I'm fabulous and thriving. And, you know, here we talk about great food, healthy eating, you know, weight loss and management. And that's something I can tell you a lot about weight loss and management. So that's something that, you know, I do. I have an amazing program where I have an individual tailored action plan for you, you know, and we can go through all the different processes. It's a 16-week program. And, you know, I just think it will bless you. So touch base with me on that. You know, a couple of it are Log More, Lose More, 8 Laws of Health, Satiety, Fiber and Health. You know, why we eat, you know, the role of physical activity, halfway checking, genetics, metabolism and fasting, the circadian rhythms and sleep. Did you know you lose weight when you're sleeping? You know, and then of course you've got my course that I'm passionate about and I love because it's so dear to my heart, is my life and career changer. Why? Because we go through and we learn and we love on you, and we get you to a place in your life where you're willing to just be flossing. That's right. So, you know, we look at the awakening. You know, we look at falling in love again with you. We look at our expectations. We look at drop it like it's hot. And we look at it's your time to shine on eagle's wings. And if you're interested in that program, get in touch as well. That program is just for 7 weeks, just so we can get you in the mindset. It's a mindset shift that you need. So I just want to just give you a little infomercial on it. There you go. If you want to just go straight to the course, you can go to www.animisting.podia.com. But if you want to connect with me first and have that chat, then you can do that also. And so I just want to say thank you for listening and for sharing my story. You know, I want you to know that anything I do and how I work with you is inclusive, diverse, accepting, welcoming. You'll have a safe space and it's for everyone. Well, I am focusing on the ladies. I'm sorry, men. I am focusing on the ladies, but I do work with men as well. So if you do want to come and have a chat with me after at 9 p.m. UK or 4 p.m. Eastern, you can join me in my Zoom meeting, and the code is there, or you can DM me and I can always send it to you, WhatsApp or whatever. So I just want to say thank you for listening. How can I help you? Contact me, get in touch, DM. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, I'm on YouTube. Like and subscribe my channel. From next week, we'll go back to business stuff. But I wanted to just share with you today so you can know who I am and who you're working with. So contact me. You can get a hold of me, book an appointment with me for a free consultation. at www.flawsome.simplybookit, and you will find me on there in one of my lovely poses. Yeah, so just get in touch. And as I said, don't allow circumstances to take your joy. Life can be hard. We're living in a pandemic, but you are here, and you're here, right now for a reason. So let's find that reason. Let's live our best life. Find that reason and let's do it together. So contact me, touch base with me. You can book an appointment with me at flawsome.simplybookit, and I will spend that time and we can start this new journey together. My question to you is, where do you want to be in 3 years' time? And how do you intend to get there? Bye. Stay blessed.